Welcome back to Dagryffyn Hobby. My name's Dave. And I'll be honest, I'm feeling a little bit lost. I mean, I know where I am. I'm in my train room in my garage, but I feel like I've been rushing through the year so far. January's already passed, halfway through February, and I'm not really sure if I've really thought about anything or just kind of been on cruise control. And it's leaving me feeling a little bit lost and kind of overwhelmed because my train room here is a mess. I started moving stuff around to do some work, starting with the shelves behind me and the shelves over under the other side of the layout. Then I had to work on the floor and the wall underneath the layout to try to minimize moisture and cold drafts. I mean, I guess I did a lot of work around the room, minimizing draft, covering gaps, filling holes, trying to finish things up a little bit. But that means that my layout has not progressed at all in quite some time. I mean, I'm still able to run trains, but I haven't done any work on the layout since I had the burst where I was painting. And I'm standing here looking at the mess of a room and the projects that need to be done, and I'm not sure where to go. One of the really nice things about doing 2 videos a week for the last 2 years is that it's kept me super focused on the hobby. I mean, I would tend to be more scattered amongst my hobbies. I have a 1996 Mustang Cobra that needs a good amount of work. I, at least in the past, been a very big hiker, and I haven't been doing that. And I'm okay with these things because I really value this hobby. But at the moment, while I look around the room, I don't know, I feel like I need a week off and an endless supply of coffee, and I can get in here and start kicking some butt. That's not gonna happen. So maybe I should skip a couple train shows and spend some time here and get some things done. People have asked me about my train room. My train room is in a detached 4-car concrete block garage with an attic. Unfortunately, it's very old and the whole second floor is pretty much useless. I've been fighting water leaks in the roof for years, and I feel like the concrete block is more spongy than I would like it to be, and it just seems to absorb the moisture. So I have lots of plans to deal with that in the spring, painting the outside of the wall, installing gutters behind the garage, dealing with the ground and grading it so that the water drains away from the walls. I'm very fortunate to have this space. I mean, when I was looking to buy a house, we pulled into the driveway here. I got out of the car, looked at the garage and said, oh, we're buying this house. Where else am I gonna find a garage this big that's gonna enable me to do the hobbies that I wanna do? So this space here that I have my trains in, it's about roughly 22 by 22 feet, give or take. And I have the same amount of space on the other side of this door here. That's in much rougher condition than this is, and that's a whole nother project for another time. Hopefully I can get that cleaned up to at least be a mildly functioning wood shop, auto shop, whatever type of shop, so that I have someplace to do work and I don't need to do it in the middle of the room here and get sawdust and whatever else all over my trains. One of my projects that I hope to do soon is in the corner over this way. That's building a roughly 8-foot by 8-foot room. And that's going to house the Lego collection and the Lego layout. I've been wanting to do a Lego train layout, city layout for, well, most of my adult life, and I haven't really gotten to it. When I started this layout, I considered mixing the two, doing a Lego layout with Lionel trains, but I figured that would take too many compromises, and I just didn't want to make that many compromises to get both onto the same table in a way that I would like it. So that room will be roughly 8-foot by 8-foot. It will give me more place to build shelves, train shelves on this side and then Lego shelves on the other inside of the room. And it will kind of help display but separate my two favorite hobbies. There are plenty of videos that I have in my head to do. One of them is to test this self-feeding soldering iron. I'd seen them floating around the internet and I figured that can't work. But I'm not a big fan of soldering, so I figured if it's even remotely decent, it will be worth it. So this was something I picked up on Amazon pretty cheap, and I will be doing a video on this once I get the time to crack it open and give it a try. Probably at the same time I'm doing that video, I will work on one for this right here. What is this? This is an E-unit jig and tool made by PE Design and Manufacturing. I've had it for quite a while, and I've wanted to do a video showing you how this tool helps you service the E-units. I mean, I have a lot of old crummy E-units I need to work on. I still have two of the pre-war 225Es sitting over there somewhere in a box that need to have their E-units redone and the engines rewired. And I'd really like to do that because I love the 225E, and also that would enable me to sell the other one. And it's a gorgeous engine, so it'd be nice to have it on the layout and run it with the 226E. So I will be doing a video on this tool and show you how it enables you to get a little bit of a better handle on the E-unit as you're working on it. I'm just standing here looking at all the different boxes that have projects. This way on the floor, I have a box of additional cars for the Chicago and Alton, and they all need to be cleaned and the lights rewired. My AA Santa Fe set of the 2343 is over on the table, and all the interior pieces are rusted. I've got a maroon top Lackawanna Trainmaster that's also in pretty rough shape. I mean, that thing runs amazing, but you open it up and it looks horrible. So I'm gonna have to clean that all up too. Unfortunately, the shell is not in great condition. The maroon paint looks like it's coming off the top, and one of the vents, the back of the locomotive is melted. It's still a fantastic running engine, even in the condition that it is. I have a box of tenders over there. A lot of post-war tenders, a lot of MPC era, and I need to work on all of them, clean them up, fix them, get the whistles working, get the sound of steam boards working. I have a number of ZW transformers I need to work on. I ordered parts to repair one of them, so I'm interested in seeing how that repair goes. I definitely need to improve my storage situation. I need to get more stuff off the layout, off the floor, off of surfaces, and shelved up where I can see it, access it, and use it, but it's not in the way. So maybe that will be really the first thing to continue working on. You know, I started with the shelf behind me, the other one under the layout. I guess that's the project I was in the middle of when I started pulling the room apart, and it has now put me in this state of feeling lost. But I mean, it's okay. You don't always have to know what you're doing. Let's take a look at the layout and see where things stand and what my plans are for, I don't want to say the immediate future, but for when I get the inspiration to work on it. There's a lot of stuff around, so don't mind my mess. And over here is where that Lego room's gonna go. The layout is roughly 22 feet across the back there. And it comes out, I think 13. I think this is about 13 feet. If I were to start over, I'd probably make it a little bit bigger. This side comes out about 10 feet and is about 2 feet away from that far wall. Since we're over here, I might as well show you the other side of this door. It's a mess. Can't really see in there anyway. Foam, foam, foam. Anyway, that's enough of that. You see I got all that painted in there. You got some spots where the foam's a little close to the track, so I'll have to do some carving back here, and then maybe some basic ground cover. This upper ledge here is all secured, so it's just waiting on track being installed. This side here where it dips down below the table, that's one of the first kind of expansions I worked on to bring the scenery down. And I've had it in my mind to bring it like all the way down and just do a huge kind of valley here. This right here that some people have dubbed Turtle Mountain, not sure what I'm going to do with it, at least the pink part anyway. I haven't painted that because I'm not sure where I'm going to go with it. So that's probably going to stay like that for some time. And here's my tribute to Lane Meyer. He's skiing on one ski. If you don't get that, let me know. I'm pretty happy with the way the layout comes through here. Still love the arch under bridge. I'm pretty happy with the way that I've got the bridges coming across here. I would love to do like a custom bridge in that spot, but that's not necessary at this point to really get things moving. This pink blob back here, yeah, I don't really know. That's kind of there just to fill the corner space. And back in this corner, I'm gonna do like some portion of town. I've got these buildings sitting here now just to kind of visualize. I'm not going to have like a large city area, but I do want indications of town. I'm pretty happy with how this part turned out. Again, not sure how high it's going to go, if it's going to connect to the corner over there. The viaduct, as you can see, is looking a little different. The way it was before, it was not sturdy, so I've secured this 2-inch sheet of foam and put supports under it, and that will enable me to make the viaduct kind of as a facade and not structural. So that will be kind of easier to work on. But that's all ready to go too. Needs track. I'm really actually very close to doing the upper level track. I just need, I guess, a good solid weekend and a lot of coffee and some good motivation. This whole foreground area here in front of the viaduct, I don't know. At one point early on, I had a large river right about there in the middle, but it wasn't working for me, so I filled it in, covered it up. I would like some water features, but I might go with smaller streams than large rivers. I thought it might be nice to get maybe a road and a small stream under the arch under. We'll see. It will all depend how it progresses. This corner mountain here, again, I really like the way that it's coming along. I had hard plastic Lionel tunnel portals in there, and I like them, but as I keep getting bigger equipment, I keep having issues with things scraping. So I'm going to redo all of my tunnel portals with 2-inch foam or 1.5-inch foam. So that way, if in the future I have something that hits, I can just carve it out a little bit more and make it fit. I've had some ideas inspired by some other YouTube channels out there. The one I'm thinking of, the guy did a big curved trestle over like a ravine, and that would be awesome, but it's not gonna work with the shape of the table unless I cut the wood or change the track layout, and I'm not gonna do that. But I might bring this corner here down and do some sort of ravine. This section of mountain here is one of the first really that I worked on, and surprisingly I still like it. This back panel here is not great, but it's just for access to the tunnel. I mean, it's not really a spot that you're going to see from the rest of the room, so I'm not too concerned about it. Once I get the upper loop moving and I kind of decide what to do with the middle here, I may or may not bring this mountain up and over this track, at least for a little bit of a tunnel. Covered bridge. It's one of the first things I bought even before starting the layout. It was just something I wanted. And since then I've just had a hard time visualizing it as making sense. But I've worked it in over here, mostly because it's about the right size and it kind of provides a visual break. So I'm still interested in using it there. As I was working on this here, I pictured this as a much more gradual hill. I think like a lot of stuff over here, I have to get the upper loop working and see the train move through it before I make any changes. Then I've got this area where I may or may not put a small loop. with like a mine train or something. I've had the idea to put a helix so that I could bring the mine train below the layout and have it come up on the other side. But that sounds like it's more complicated than I would feel like dealing with. Well, I guess I have plenty to do. And if I don't feel inspired right now at this moment, 9 o'clock on a Thursday night, I guess that's okay. I'll be inspired. Or at least caffeinated sometime in the next few days. And I'll come out here and pick something and just do it. I might have said, I think the first thing I'm gonna do is try to get some of the shelves back in place. I have a large metal shelf over here, and if I can get that back under the layout with maybe a couple more shelves on it, I'll be in a good spot and I'll be able to get some stuff out of my way. Well, if there's a lesson to be learned here at all, I guess it's if you're feeling kind of lost in the hobby, uninspired, don't know what to do, just take a look around and start identifying some of the projects. And some of them you might feel overwhelmed by, and that's fine. Put them to the side, worry about them later. But there's gonna be something that you wanna work on. And now that I've walked around the layout and taken this look at it, I really wanna work on that upper loop. I wanna get the train running. So I think that might be my focus. So I got a plan now. Get those shelves back under the layout, get some trains on them and out of my way, and get that upper loop working. See, I feel better already. So thanks for listening to me babble and complain or whatever it is I've been doing. We all have slumps, and that's fine. The hobby's not going anywhere. This room's not going anywhere. If I don't feel it for, a couple days, that's fine. It will still be here. I can give myself a break once in a while. So if you're feeling a little burnt out on the hobby, give yourself a break. Watch a movie, read a book, take a walk, take a hike, work on a car, go for a drive, whatever. It'll still be here for you. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little video. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Hopefully with some projects completed, or at least well on their way. See you next time on Dagryffyn Hobby.